What's good, family? Today, I'm going to teach you about sexual selecting success. Sexual selection success. I'm going to teach you how to select or help you select better, and also give you some information on how you can get even more information on how to select sexually better and make your life a little better. So if you give me a few minutes of your time, I'm probably gonna make this a 3-part series. It's gonna be a little course I'm gonna teach, and if you want more information, obviously I will be able to give you some more information or some one-on-one teaching if you get in touch with me to do so. But this is just a course that I put together. It's free. I'm gonna put it up. I think it's so long. It's about 2 or 3 hours. It's about 2.5 hours long. So I had to chop it up a little bit. But hey, it's free. You can take it and use it and try to get as much out of it as you can. You know what I mean? If you need more help, there is more information available. But I would not sleep with another person before I saw this information I'm about to give you right quick. All right. So everybody enjoy the class I put together for you. It's really for these younger guys, but it's really for anybody that's out here having premarital sex. You need to at least check this stuff out and check out what I'm saying to you and see if you can benefit out of it. All right, peace, y'all. All right, like I said, a rebuild, and you got to rebuild your life after a bitter split. That's tough pill, man. Tough pill. You don't have that much money. Reduce time with your children. Now you got to figure out how to have a relationship with your children. You had 100% of the time, 100% of the week. Now you got maybe once every 2 weeks you spending time with your children. How does that work out? Plus you got no money to spend, no money to do nothing with them when you got them, right? And of course you're going to be financing her life with some other man, right? The money you giving her, some of that money is going to be used to finance her life with other men, right? That's something you just have to accept in a breakup, right? Especially out of a marriage, right? You're lucky this won't happen, but if you're the maximum breadwinner, this is probably the path you're going to have if you don't select properly. Who pays the biggest price for unwanted pregnancy? The child or the children? The children, man. There's nothing worse than a child that knows they're unwanted. They know they're unwanted. They know they were unplanned and unwanted. Because bad people show children that they're unwanted, and that's a bad thing. I said, bad parents show children that they're bad people, right? Or they make children into bad people, right? They show these children that they're unwanted. How by abandoning them, or abusing them, or sending them to foster care, or worse, right? Making them run away and run into the streets. I mean, all kind of bad stuff happens, right? The children pay the biggest price. Who else pays the price? The parents. You pay the price, right? They're always constantly calling you to the school. Hey, your son did this, your daughter did this. We need you to come up here. This person's hurt. Or the police, right? They're calling you and saying, hey, we got your son down here. We got your daughter down here, right? Do you really want that? Do you really need that? No. Does a child need that? No. But a lot of stuff can be avoided. I'm not saying all children if you treat all children good, they're going to be good. No, some children are they just have a spirit on them sometimes. And it takes more than just treating them good. They need special help, right? But most children, if you treat them nice and you feed them regularly and you put clean clothes on them and you tell them that you love them every once in a while, they'll usually be okay. The grandparents, us as grandparents, we got to deal with unwanted children, right? Children that are quote unquote in the way. Like they're just something to do when I ain't doing all this other running around with other people I got in my life, right? I'm experiencing that right now with my granddaughter, right? Where my son is just all over the road, but I gotta be right there to take care of my granddaughter, right? Which I love her anyway. It's no point. It's no problem. That's my baby. But just saying, I should be fighting to spend time with her, right? But I don't have to fight to spend time with her, thank God, because this boy is out of his mind. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, so the grandparents, we pay the price for this because we got to try to fix things that we see are wrong with but they end up going back to the parents at some point. They end up going back to spend time with these crazy parents, and it just knocks them off. Our society, right? Crime rises when you have abandoned, abused, and abused children, and unwanted and just left behind children. What happens? They don't have nobody teaching them, right from wrong and how to get along in the society, respect for others. They don't have people teaching them that stuff, right? So they just go out on the street and they live by the law of the jungle. If I can take it from you, that's right. It's right. It rightfully belongs to me if I can take it from you, right? Right. So anyway, that is those who pay the biggest price in unwanted pregnancy is our society, because we got to pay for them, right? We got to pay for taxes. Our taxes got to go for the foster care system, pay for the foster care system. Our taxes got to pay for the prison system. Our taxes got to pay for all these diversionary situations where the court will try to divert these children out of certain behaviors. We got to pay for it, right? That money got to come from somewhere. It don't come from the sky. Ain't no money tree. It comes from our taxes, right? We can be using that tax money to improve the quality of life for everyone else, right? But we got to deal with these children that are being left behind, right? Okay. What can you do to protect yourself better against a poor sex select? Investigate the lifestyle and cleanliness habits. You know what I'm saying? Most women, what you want to do is go to where she lives, either her car or where she lives or both, where you can see how clean she is. The cleanliness of a woman will let you know about her lifestyle. If she's not that clean, then you know that she's not going to require cleanliness in her partners, right? Typically, I'm not saying hard and fast rules, but just going by the odds. Odds are she will not, if she's not clean, she's not going to expect cleanliness in her previous partners. That could be a bad situation for you because you're going to have to deal with whatever her previous partners brought to the party. But you got to investigate the lifestyle and cleanliness habits. This is just for your own health, for your own safety. You need to check out their lifestyle and their habits. Review their personality. You know what I mean? You got to look at the kind of personality she has. Does she have a kind of personality that vibes with you? Or does she have the kind of personality that doesn't vibe with you? And the only time you guys have anything in common is when she puts sex on the table. Now you guys will be able to work together. But outside of that, it's a disaster, right? But you got to make sure that you make sure that you are always making sure that you're on top of that by reviewing her personality. How do you review her personality? Take her out a few times. Talk to her. The best way to get somebody get to know a person is to ask them questions. Just ask them questions. If you ask them questions, they will tell you all about themselves. Most women will tell you about themselves, right? Even if they're trying to hide it after a while, because for a woman, they get safety and strength in talking and getting, and a lot of women get strength in, they get more comfortable as they see that they can manipulate you by saying different things, reducing or increasing or reducing the sexual tension and other ways of manipulation. They get more confident and they have more confidence, so they start talking more. So you just let them talk. Ask them questions, let them talk. Most people will just talk. Men and women, most people will just talk. If you ask them enough questions, pretty soon you have to tell them to shut up. Look for red flags. You gotta look for red flags. If you don't look for red flags, man, This is going to go. What are some red flags? Mental health issues. But Clarence, just because a person got mental health issues don't mean they should be denied relationships. I'm not saying that. They should be in relationships with people who can deal with those type of issues. If you know you're not the type of person that can deal with that kind of issue, then don't be in a relationship with somebody with mental health issues. Unless you have some type of degree in it, I would not suggest doing that. Because it's very strenuous on the person. Without those issues, that person is going to be sacrificing a lot of their sanity by being with somebody who has mental health issues. And it was very unnecessary in most cases. So look for red flags. Mental health issues, right? Uncleanliness, right? Disrespect. Disrespect is a huge red flag. Disrespect is a huge red flag. If you say, hey, we're going to go someplace, be ready, I'll be there at 5 o'clock, and you show up at 5 o'clock, okay, one time they're not ready, but you always show up in that they're not ready, or they're not even there, or I'm on my way and you didn't call. Once a person show you disrespect, what they're doing is telling you that they don't respect you enough to be where they're supposed to be, to do you right. And it's only going to get worse from there. When you're going to get to a certain point where it's not going to be no question of whether they're disrespecting you. And why should you let it get to that point? Why do you need to have the whole house fall on you? If one brick falls on you, you should know this house is unstable. Why should you stay there until the whole house falls on you? That's stupid, in my opinion. So look for red flags, man. We can get into red flags later. Look for mental instability, right? You know, there's certain people that have mentalities that are not good. They have what's called double standards, right? I can do this, but the same thing, you can't do it. I can do this, but you can't. But this thing, presents disrespect to me. Yeah, you got to get over it, but I can do it. See, if you did it, you would be disrespecting me. But this is the same situation. But people like that, people that have that kind of mentality, stay far away from them. Far away from them. I mean, if you want to be happy, if you want to have relationships with people and you always got a bunch of drama going on, those are perfect people with all that drama, man, because they got the way they think is so crazy. You know, it's just like, okay, you can think that way. Okay, but they unstable, right? Those are the same kind of people that show up at your job in their pajamas, right? I mean, you got to think about what you're doing, right? You should never want to be in some place where somebody is irresponsible and disrespectful. Those are two red flags that you need to, but we'll get to that in a little while. Inspect the home and vehicle. I already went over that. You got to inspect the home and vehicle just to see what kind of, you just want to see what kind of lifestyle they live in. If they're clean. Cleanliness of a woman says a lot about her mentality. How she gonna keep your house clean? She don't even keep her own house clean. How she gonna cook you food? And she spend most of her week eating out. At least I got to give credit to the women that step up and say, you know what? I want to be taken out every day. I want to be taken out at least 5 times a week. So they letting you know up front, that's not the woman for you. If you want to live a long time. If you want to live a short time, hey, go ahead. You want a lot of drama in a short life? Go ahead. But in my opinion, that's not a good sexual select. Inspect the home and vehicle. Look for a desire to be respected, and respect oneself. They should have the desire to respect you. Like that is something inside them. They should have that desire to want to respect you, right? They want to be respected. They don't want you to just walk on over on top of them either, but they want to respect you and they want to be respected equally, right? And then of course, they respect themselves. They respect themselves. They're not out here trying to allow people to disrespect them. So that's the kind of person that you want, man. You don't want somebody that don't have no respect for themselves. They're out here wearing all kind of stuff, half their ass hanging out, half their breasts are popping out, and you out to lunch with them, and other animals can't take their eyes off of her because she got everything that they should be looking at during a sexual experience hanging out, right? I'm not saying you don't dress up with your woman every now and then, but I'm just saying you don't want things that you don't want other men looking at exposed to other men. Otherwise, some of them are so crazy, they will come and try to inquire about it, right? Even though you're sitting right there, they're going to say, damn, she don't even respect him to cover herself up. I don't respect him. Because I want that. I'm going to just go over there and talk to her while he right there. Obviously, she don't respect him, but she wouldn't be out like that. So you got to check all that out. And what kind of woman will put you in that situation, brother? Really, what kind of woman will put you in a situation where, you got like 5 heartbeats? Every now I got to prove my love. Get out of my way, right? Who wants to be in a situation like that every day? All right. Look at the person's family. Oh, family dynamics. Woo. Right? What kind of relationship she got with her mama? What kind of relationship she got with her father? What kind of relationship she got with her brothers? What kind of relationship? See? Problem is, a lot of stuff you gonna have to physically see up front, because a woman is always going to explain things in a way where it looks harmonious. And then when you get there, not always, but most women will try to have things sound like they're harmonious. And then when you get on the scene, that's when you find out, oh man, this person don't get along with this person. This is an issue and that's an issue. You find out all these issues, right? Don't ignore these issues. Don't ignore issues. Don't ignore family dynamics. Don't do that. If you do that, you are going to pay for it. Guarantee you're going to pay for it. All right. What can happen if we select successfully? What can happen if we do the right thing, right? You do some of the stuff I'm telling you, what can happen? You have good, well-rounded children, right? Children that can actually do something, actually can, be in a good place and be able to think properly, right? And they can handle the world that's in front of them, a vicious world that's in front of them, right? You have good home support for the children, right? Children go to school and they're out there hanging out, but they know when they come home, they got the support to handle insane and hateful world out there. They can come home to the protection of the love of a family, right? That's good for children, man, because this world is wicked and it can work on a child, and it starts trying to program wickedness into these children young, right? It tries to program them for wickedness and young, so that when they come up, they will be triggered by different things to be able to be ruled by that wickedness, right? That desire for wickedness. Y'all don't hear me. Anyway, good home support for mother and father, right? If you select properly, man, you got somebody on the other end that when you come home, they can support you, you can support them. You're not saying you ain't gonna never have no problems, but at least you can support each other, right? You be able to support for each other. And once children see the love between you and your wife, then they will understand what love really means. But if they don't see it, how they gonna learn how to love somebody like that? And they'll pick people they won't do any of these things, and they will sexually select people that's just for the streets. It's gonna abuse them and take advantage of them, right? Okay, we don't want that, so we gotta practice stuff. But if you select properly, you can have a good support, mother and father. The needs of the child are put first. In a good household, the needs of the children are put first. You don't argue in front of the children. You make sure you fix them meals that's going to build them up. You try to help them figure things out. You work with them. You spend time with them. You teach them right and wrong so they can have a foundation by which they can judge when to enter into situations and when to not enter into situations. What is the purpose of selection? What a purpose? We already been through that. But here, we also want to produce children that are competent enough to leave our generational wealth so that they may build on it, right? What's the purpose of getting married? What's the whole purpose? What's the purpose of private ownership, right? What's the whole point of private ownership is to be able to create generational wealth, right? So what's the purpose of marriage? Marriage is for the express purpose. One of the main purposes is for you to be able to create heirs. When you got them right there with you, you can train your heirs right there in the same household with you, right? You can train your heirs right there. You can build your wealth and train the heirs to handle that wealth right there. Everybody's right there under the same roof. That's the whole purpose, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way a lot of times, right? In today's marketplace, right? Because we don't know how to select properly. This is it right here. If we can just get this under control, we can turn a lot of things around, especially in the black community, right? But the whole point of private ownership is so you can build generational wealth and then pass on whatever wealth you built to your children, to your heirs, and let them build on that, right? That's the whole point. If we didn't want to do that, you could just be communist and the state owns everything. And you don't have no private ownership. Right? Why? You don't need it. For what? The state will take care of everything. But in America, we have capitalism and the state doesn't take care of everything. They take care of a lot of things, but not everything. And they definitely don't pass down generational wealth. It's your responsibility to try your best to make sure your children aren't impoverished by teaching them, by trying to leave them as much wealth as you can so they can build on that, right? So that's why we want to select property, because if you select a woman that understands this concept, then your children are going to do better because she's going to not fight you. But when you select a woman that doesn't understand this situation here, doesn't understand why you should select property and this little concept right here, they're going to always intercede and cause a division. And your children will see that division as opportunities. Children see division and discipline as opportunities to manipulate the situation. And they think they're getting out of something by not having to adhere to a code of conduct because of the rift in the decision making, the disciplinary process. They think they're getting away, but what they're really doing is not learning how to apply themselves to properly resolve a certain situation. And you teaching them, and me, and we're teaching them that by having conflicts and discipline. Anyway, sexually selecting properly, we can produce children that are competent enough to leave our generational wealth to, that they may build on it. What are some safer practices with sexual selection? Success. No raw dogging. Stop going out here raw dogging these women, man. Stop it. Stop it. All we're doing is bringing all these unplanned pregnancies, unwanted children, putting all this cost on the taxpayer. You getting yourself into arrears. I mean, come on, man. It's just so many different situations. There's all this child support that you don't want to pay anyway. If you don't want to pay child support, then don't put yourself in a situation where you have to, right? Stop raw dogging, man. Because women have 100% control over, the baby making process. No. You have 100% control over the baby making process because a woman can't have a baby unless you give her the seed to have the baby. So you have 100% control. She can't do nothing. She can't take you to court and say, he won't have sex with me, therefore I want a baby, and so he won't have sex with me. They can't do that. At this point in time, they can't do it. So the only way they can get that baby so that they can get child support from you is you got to give her the seed. So it's 100% in your control. Vetting or investigating a person in more thoroughly before sex. Man, there's a lot you need to know about a person before you just jump into bed with them. A lot of y'all just jump into bed with a woman because she look good. Remember I was talking about attraction hooks. You know, you hooked on her big old butt, and you hooked on her big old breasts or whatever, right? And that's your hook. Or you hooked on the sexual tension that she able to create. But I'm telling you, man, you got to investigate more than that. Some of these women, they know they got to have these hooks because they know that they're not mentally stable. And if you find out before they hook you with these hooks, these attraction hooks, you're going to just hit the road. So they use these hooks to manipulate you out of your mind, make you insane, make you think a bad thing is going to turn good at some point. It's not. People that disrespect you usually going to disrespect you until they get tired of disrespecting you and move on to somebody else that they can disrespect. That's just how most women are that are like that. 100% condom use. Use a condom 100% of the time. Well, I ain't got no condom with it. You can't get down. But I really want to do it. Okay. I mean, those of y'all that's willing to risk your life to have sex with a woman, hey, that's on you. That's on you. I think it's very immature and very foolish and very irresponsible to do such. But like I said, I'm just talking for myself. You can do what you want to do. I think why should you basically putting your life in this person's hands, right? The woman's hands, right? And women and the state are like the casino, right? The house is going to win 99% of the time. The state and the woman is going to win 99% of the time. They're going to win 99% of the time if you gamble like that. So don't gamble. Make sure you know this woman before you lay down with her and and you know enough about her to be able to say to yourself, if a child comes out of this union, this person is reasonable enough where we'll be able to do some things. We'll be able to co-parent if we're not going to be together. You need somebody that's reasonable. All right, but use a condom all 100% of the time. That way you control the distribution of your sperm, which thusly will control your obligation to pay for children that were undesired, and or keep you healthy sex-wise, health-wise. Wash directly before and after sex. You want to wash your genital area before sex, and directly after sex, you want to wash your genital area. Why? Because a woman can tell you anything. Oh, I haven't been out. I haven't done anything. The last time I had intimate relations was 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, right? Is there any way to verify that information? No, unfortunately not. That's why you have to look at her character. Where has she lied before? If she's lied to you already, I'll be there. I'll be ready at 5 o'clock, and you get there and you sitting there till 7:30, 8 o'clock before she's ready to go. This happens to you most of the time you go over there. She's lying to you already. What do you think? Why do you think she would lie to you about her previous lifestyle or her current lifestyle that you just don't know about, right? Ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions, man, because if you ask a lot of questions, then, like I said, most people, once they get comfortable enough with you, they will just start talking, right? But you got to get them going. You got to ask questions. You got to keep asking questions. Not in a stern way, but you got to ask questions so like you inquiring about them, like you really into them. Because you are, right? You're trying to find out about them, right? So some women will try to hide from you. They know they got personality defects. They try to hide them from you. But if you keep questioning them and you come this way and you come that way, and you come this way, and you come that way, you keep coming from different angles, but always in a way where they feel like you are actually want to know as much about them as possible in a good way. Man, they would just start opening up to you. They just start talking. That's how men are too. Most people would just start talking about themselves. If you just keep asking them and you seem like you're interested in them as a person, they'll let you know exactly who they are. What is at stake upon poor select? Told you. President come in. Yeah, your present income is at stake. You have sex with a woman and you end up getting her pregnant. That's it, man. And it was unplanned and you're unwanted. That's it. You just rolled the dice and put your income on the table, right? Pushed it into the middle of the table, and the state and the woman are the dealers. And they taking your money every time. Your present and future benefits, right? Right? Your present and future benefits. Depending on the situation, depending on how poorly you selected your present and future benefits. Your retirement nest egg. All this stuff is up for grabs, man, when you sexually select the wrong person. Your present assets, present and future assets. It's also, well, the future assets might not be involved in this, but definitely your present assets. But your future assets could be involved, right? Any assets acquired during a relationship, right? Now, all of that's up for grabs. Oh, Clarence, they can't do that. How do you know? How do you know what the judge gonna say? You don't know what the judge is gonna say. We all know some crazy cases, man, where judges just tell you, man, hey, this is the way we're doing it. And it's gonna cost you $50,000 to go take it to the Supreme Court to fight it, right? What are you gonna do? See? Child support for unwanted child, man. Probably, I don't know about how that feels. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world, to not want a child, to not want the woman, and to have to pay child support for a child that you don't want, and the woman is not reasonable with you about that. But this is what you're doing, man. This is what's at stake. This is what you're risking. Alimony, we already been over that. Limited time with your children, right? Let's say you have a child and you want to be with your children, right? Let's say this was a marriage. You selected somebody poorly for marriage. You married the person and now you divorced them. They put you on the schedule. You used to see your children every day. Now you can see your children once every other week. So y'all think about this stuff when you laying down with somebody, right? Financial solvency. Man, you know how many guys go bankrupt? You know how many guys go bankrupt dealing with this type of situation? They go bankrupt. But nobody tells us. Nobody sits us down and tells us, hey, this is how it's going to go. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go, man. Other emotional impacts on you and your family. Yeah, man, this stuff will break you apart, man. You might not, it's going to tear up your social life. It's going to tear up your family life. It's going to tear up everything. It can. If you got an unreasonable person, a poor sexual select, that person can rip your whole life apart, man. Rip your whole life apart. Financially, emotionally, just devastate you. And they so crazy, they don't realize that the children want to see you, but they look at the children as bad people for wanting to see you. Some of these people are just crazy. They're just out of their mind. And you got to look for these mental instabilities before you lay down with these people. What are some safer practices for sexual select? No raw dogging, vetting. Yeah, we've been through this one. Condom. Yeah, we've been through all this. What questions should you be asking? What questions should you be asking? What is your body count? Should you ask this question, what is your body count? No, never ask that question. You have to assume that it's high. When I say high, at least 10 or 15 people. At least. You got to at least assume a grown woman at the age of about maybe 25 or 26 is going to have some experiences, right? Especially if they have children. They're going to have experiences, right? But do not ask this question. This is a relevant question, and you're not going to get the true answer, and there's no way to verify the answer that they do give you. So all you're doing is putting yourself in a position where you're waiting on the girl to try to say something to you to convince you of the number that she gave you. It's just stupid. It's just an exercise in futility. The best thing to do when you know a woman if you're going to marry a woman, get a cleanse. I'll get into that later. Get her a cleanse. That way She can get everybody else out of there. And she can be just prime for you. But I'll get into that later, at another time. Are you willing to be tested before we get busy? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Are you willing to get tested for any diseases? Right? Are you willing to get tested? That is a relevant question. Why should you jump in the bed with somebody that hasn't been tested or that won't get tested? That shows her character. If she's willing to test with you, cause you say we both gonna go get tested. I'll get tested and you get tested. We get tested together. This is how I do it. That's why I don't have that much sex, because this is what's happening. See, that shows your character. It shows her character. If she's willing to do it. If she's like, I ain't, man, please, I ain't gonna do that. Why? Cause she got Boom Boom Willie that's gonna hook her up no matter what. She don't have to. So those standards she got other guys that won't press those standards. Let her go be with those dudes that ain't gonna press those standards. You got your health at risk. You got your legacy at risk. You got time to play games with your life. Do you have health conditions I should be aware of? Do you have health conditions? Are you epileptic? Do you have diabetes? High blood pressure? Do you have any of these diseases that I should be aware of that you might go into shock, or you might have a problem, or, are you allergic to certain food? Is there any health condition that I need to be aware of? That's a very relevant question. All right, y'all. That was one of the lessons. I'm ending the lesson right here. I want you to look out for the next lesson in the progression, so that you can get the most out of this training. It says, I don't know everything, but I just know what I know. I've been married for 32 years, got a lot of experience. I made a ton of mistakes in 32 years. If I haven't done it, seen it, heard about it, or helped somebody walk through it, then it just ain't out there, man. So I done been through almost everything as far as relationship wise. So, but thank God I was able to take that information and start transforming my life into a productive situation for myself and for my family. And, it didn't take too long for me to start seeing the error of my ways. But anyway, you don't have to go through all of that. You don't have to get the lumps on your head like I got on my head. You can listen to these lessons and this free course that I'm putting out here, and you can learn how to select better. And you could tell me what some things that could even help. Maybe I could even put it in the course or whatever, right? But anyway, there's a lot of information here to help you sexually select better, so that you don't have to be going through all of the misery that guys that sexually select poorly go through, when they just absolutely destroy their lives by simply selecting the wrong person to have sex with. So anyway, go out there, go out and catch the next video or the next part of the course that's coming after this one, and just get all the information, and hopefully it'll help you, man, and make some better decisions out there in your life. All right, peace.